Denny Hamlin had a pretty masterful performance, defensive driving, pit crew executed, driver executed. What'd you think?
Well, it sounds like he did his job, right?
Well, that's what he's paid to do, you know.
Yeah, that's what he's paid to do. But when you go and you look at the race and you look at the scenario, the pit crew gave him the lead again.
Yes.
They did their job on pit road. They put him in a position to win. Okay. And then they come back in for the last time, and Kyle Larson beats him off pit road. And what did he do? He passed him.
Oh my God. Don't use that
Careful.
word.
Careful.
Okay, easy, guys.
Denny Hamlin passed Kyle Larson. It's an amazing thing.
I love that.
He did pass Kyle Larson for the lead. Kyle Larson was in front. Denny Hamlin beat him on a restart and passed him. It's amazing.
Funny how that works. You know, I thought it was cool. He called his shot earlier in the week. Not many drivers
I
could
didn't know that.
Yeah,
on his pot. You should call your shot about the practice session and just say you're for all.
No.
I don't know.
Calls
Did
it
you
a
see how he ran last
I have literally not sat in a car since I got out of the car. at
Whoa,
Phoenix.
easy, KB.
Yeah,
easy.
so
Hey,
I'll just be happy if I can get it off pit road.
But yeah,
It was great.
Yeah.
I watched the race. We were doing NASCAR Sunday, so I was out and about in Charlotte, and then rewatched the race yesterday. What?
you should elaborate on what your NASCAR Sunday.
NASCAR Sundays is when a group of people that normally wouldn't be NASCAR fans, we gather, and I bring them, and we all go to
So
a
you
bar.
recruit these people?
He brings
yeah.
more eyes to racing.
You
it
recruit
sounds
them.
like.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
like on the
That's
dating
cool.
app, or is it just like on Facebook Live or something?
No,
not a riot
It's
group.
it's like a couple friends, and then we put it on Instagram.
But you've gotten them exposed to racing, right? Because they
Yeah.
weren't into it before.
Yeah, a lot of
That's
them weren't
awesome.
really into it before. And now everyone is excited about every Sunday. Whether I'm there or not, they're still going out
I love
around
that.
and bouncing around to different bars and stuff. So we were out. I watched the race, and I was like, cool, this was an awesome race. Like the battle between the 5 of Larson and the 11 of Denny
Kyle
Hamlin.
Larson, who started 21st.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. He started
Yep.
way back. Okay,
about
so
that.
he drives through the field, but obviously he must have helicoptered to second or whatever.
Yes.
But so they're competing hard. I'm like, this is great. Like, I don't know why anyone would be mad about this. I go to Twitter and I see that everyone's all bent out of shape that he couldn't pass him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. He passed a lot of cars on the way up, though. And Denny has a job to do, which is defend his position. And that's what he did. Yeah, we're watching it right here.
Yeah, and look, you know the drivers learn quickly. They understand the vehicle that they're racing, and I heard Kyle Larson's comments and Denny's comments after the race about the air blocking.
Mhm.
Can you air block? Yes. And I go back to 2020. Joey Logano did it not the exact way that you do it in this car, but he took my line away. He would make me cross his wake at Kansas. Dominated the race all day. Felt like we should have won the race. Logano got track position. Could never get past him. Most aerodynamic cars in the world are F1 cars. They have the biggest aerodynamic problem in the world of going slower. So I can just tell you that aerotight and those things are not new. They're not going away. This car, just like everything else that all these teams do, they get smarter. They come up with words. Now, is this car more sensitive than the last car? Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not a new technique. It has nothing to do with the electronic mirrors. It has nothing to do with having mirrors in the cars. It's just more sensitive than the other cars. And now there's a term. There's a term, air blocking. So these guys nonchalantly talk about it, Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin, because now it's just part of the tools in your tool chest. Do you wish it wasn't that way? Yes. Is it that way in probably every form of racing? Pretty much. I hear them talk about it in go-karts. I hear them talk about it in dirt cars. So it's there, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, we're going to Kansas, right, this week.
Yep.
Last year at Kansas, the 5 and the 11 had a tight battle at the end. Well, Denny was able to get to the back bumper of Kyle Larson, and he got him loose, and then he kind of ran him over. So you can't tell me that this car can't run up against someone.
Now,
you know.
look, Dover is in general a very fast racetrack. It's fast through the corners, so you're on the edge of losing the front tires and having the thing push anyway. With this car, you know, it is very aero sensitive, but you also have a lot of options at Dover to move around the racetrack. But at the beginning of the runs, it's hard to pass because of the speed that the cars have, the corner speed that they have, and all the things that come with that. So it takes a variance in speed, which happens later in the run. Hamlin's car took off better than Kyle Larson's car all day. And when he got the lead, he drove off to like 3 seconds. 20 laps later, Larson's coming back the other way to run Hamlin down. So, you know, I don't really know. Like I say, this isn't a new problem. It's a different type of problem, a different scale of problem with this particular car, but it's not something new. And it's not something that a slower car has beat a faster car because the guy behind him didn't have clean air.
Yeah.
There you go. These two setting the record straight on this, and silence your Twitter haters on all of that.
Yeah.
People coming after you.
Listen, before we move on from that, real quick, I took a page out of Kaitlyn's book and did some notes.
Oh,
Normally
look at that.
Normally I don't
Love
do
that.
any notes.
know
I
you
just
could
come
write.
yeah, well, it's not
Good
very
job.
good. It looks like chicken
Mine
scratches.
too.
But I called Bob Pockris. I said, Bob, can you send me how many passes happened throughout the race? So he did. I'm like, okay, is this the numbers, I don't understand what I'm looking at. So I need you to tell me if this is a high amount, low amount, middle amount. So he sent me from 2005 to present how many passes have been going on at Dover, right? So the largest average, right, for any driver, because that's how it's done, is Kyle Busch, and he was at 26.6 passes, quality passes, green flag racing. Okay, so that's 26. Denny Hamlin at 30, Larson at 35, Martin Truex Jr. at 35, KB had 28, Chase Elliott at 36, Alex Bowman had 30, Ty Gibbs at 28, AJ Allmendinger at 26, Bubba Wallace had 27, Ricky Stenhouse at 27. There's 3 other guys that had 22 or more. So there's 13 guys that are making at least 20 plus passes in this race on Sunday.
Okay, well, that tells a whole other story right there.
Yeah, and look, it's just Dover's a tough racetrack, and I thought it was a decent Dover race as far as all of that goes, and I think Kyle Larson, those guys can make it through the field. Denny Hamlin, those guys can make it through the field. Christopher Bell was making his way through the field, but they fumbled again on pit road, put themselves to the back again. Then, they had the problems, and then they wrecked in practice. Kaz Gralla had one of the biggest hits of the year in practice. Glad to see that he was okay. This car is just difficult at Dover. We saw Zane Smith just spin out and wreck, or whatever happened to his car in practice. So it puts the drivers on the edge of their seat. Dover's a tough racetrack to drive and to drive fast. Beats the crap out of you. But in the end, Denny Hamlin took advantage of his car taking off on the restarts. He got a good restart. His pit crew got him out first the run before that, got the track position, and they were able to do what they needed to do to win.
Denny, again, 54 career wins for him. He's now tied with Lee Petty on the all-time wins list. You're at number 10 with 60. Do you think, based on what you've seen out of Denny, he could reach your number?
Oh, he's going to blow my doors off.
This season, I mean.
I don't think this year.
Okay,
Yeah,
Larry McReynolds thought it maybe this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think those guys are hitting on all cylinders. I mean, Chris Gabehart's a stud.
Yeah.
Right?
Stud.
I mean, Denny Hamlin's a stud. I mean, those guys, when you have 2 guys that believe in each other as much as they do right now, it's hard to beat them, and it puts them in a position to do things that other teams can't do, because when those guys have that much trust and belief in each other, they start winning races. All of a sudden, that bleeds down to the pit crew, and then it becomes a contest. All right, how many races can we win this year?
Right.
And look, I think we won 9 or 10 races in whatever year that was, and it was a contest, right?
100%.
Okay, well let's this is a great start. Let's dig in here and treat this like a championship week every single week, to go out and try to see how many races you can win, because you just never know when you're going to have another year like this. And Denny Hamlin and Chris Gabehart are switched on.
It seemed like you had the similar chemistry with Rodney. That's what you're speaking of.
You do,
trust.
but you don't always have the cars to match that chemistry. And when you have that chemistry, and then you have that over-the-top confidence, like Denny has and Chris Gabehart has. Denny expresses it much different than Chris does. But you have to respect both individuals, right? For the way that they do things, and the way that they drive and things that they do. So it's fun to see when you can see individuals in that zone like they are.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News content and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.